Hey guys, so I'm really excited to present another Q&A, and this time it's with the Arcturians in the 11th dimension, which is really exciting because I've never channeled the 11th dimension energies from the Arcturians. So this is really great material here, and some of the topics covered are religion, hidden agendas, angels, AI technology, souls and incarnations. There's an explanation even about rocks and how rocks have a consciousness potentially. And dark technology, how can we decipher dark technology opposed to light technology? The sun and the change of the sun, harmful health practices, because not everything that it says that it's to our benefit is, and then also metal, water, and crystals, and how to program crystals, how to cleanse crystals. So some really good material. I'm going to place timestamps below so you can easily go to a specific topic if you want to just watch about a specific topic or you want to review a specific topic. Thank you for watching, and as always, and please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And I would love to hear about some suggested future Q&A content. What do you want to know? What do you want to see covered? And also, who do you think I should contact next? Because I'm open to that. I'm really willing to, connect with any ascended masters, angels, ETs, anybody that's of the light realm. So just really looking forward to hearing from you. And so let's get started here with the Q&A. Well, hello everybody. So I got a new camera, so hopefully I've improved the quality. And I also have here my sister, Drea, who's here to join. Someone asked for us to do another Q&A, so that's what this is. And she has included some questions that she wanted to ask. And we thought that we would ask the 11th dimensional Arcturians these questions because a lot of them are about science, technology, and things like that. So we thought that they would be the right ones to call upon. So I'm just going to call them in, and we'll see how it goes. I don't really have an agenda here, so we'll just have fun with this, and hopefully you'll have fun with it as well. We are the dimensional Arcturians that you have called upon. The level of intensity for this video is very high, and this channeler is not used to this high vibration, so give us a moment. This connection is established. Please proceed.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I actually can feel a shift as well from over here, so I can tell that it's probably a lot for her to be taking in.
These shifts are allowing higher frequencies to establish themselves into a dimensional we would like to rephrase this. So this connection is higher. It is a vibrational match, if you would understand it as that. Instead of turning your radio station to a higher vibration, you are shifting to that higher vibration. So you are joining us. Instead of bringing it in, you are joining to our state of awareness.
Well, I just had some set of questions, and I might stray off of them. To start, I just wondered if we could talk a little bit about religion. I kind of had a insight earlier today about religion being kind of all orchestrated to control us, and so I just wanted to know if you can confirm if that's true. Were all organized religions constructed as a way to control the masses?
Your definition of religion is one upon many definitions. It depends upon the way that you view religion. If you mean those that are orchestrated by the government, then yes. If you mean those that are orchestrated by your own mind, then it is dependent upon your mind. It depends on whether your religion is of the heart-centered or if it is orchestrated towards the reality that you view, the reality of the third-dimensional state of being. If it is only about the reality that you are upon, then it is not to your highest benefit. For all people to benefit from the religion, it must be called upon to understand that the reality is different than the one that you are upon. So you must be discovering something that is not your reality. You must understand that the religions that you call your religions are not, most of them were decided upon by your beings that you would call the government, beings in charge, beings that have been wanting to control. However, there are some that would differ, that would use these religions to the benefit of going beyond the religion itself. So we would like to give an example. For those who would identify as Buddhism, would call themselves a Buddhist. However, they may align with a different reality than that is actually called Buddhism. They would use that to their benefit to establish a higher connection, a higher consciousness and state of awareness that is beyond any religion. So it depends upon whether the religion itself is based upon certain texts or certain rules, agendas. It must go beyond that. You must seek not the religion, but the heart of the religion. For all religions are actually based upon the same understanding, that we are all a spiritual awareness, a spiritual soul that is going through a human, as you would call a human experience, and for us an experience of our race. It is all part of the same plan. And these religions, if you really delve into them, will understand that they are all saying basically the same thing, that we are all one and that our hearts are uniting us and that we must serve each other. For if we serve each other, we serve ourselves. It's all based on the same thing. However, these the workings of it are dependent. They are dependent upon who uses them. These words, I believe, are enough for that question.
Okay. When I did say organized religions, I guess to be more specific on that, I guess I did mean the tenets and stuff. And you brought up agendas, so I just wonder, were the tenets then laid down for specific agendas? And if everything is having a common source, were these different religions created separately in order to kind of try to mask that fact that there is one singular kind of truth to what is beyond us?
The channeler itself would like clarification upon beings such as Jesus, Yeshua, and the Buddha, and beings who have come down to serve, and whether these were in reality people that have come upon you, and were these religions based on these figures. They were. However, the cabal, as you would say, has taken upon these figures and warped their message. For their message was upon truth, and the masses misunderstood. And when they misunderstood, the cabal took that and used it to their advantage to unify them, but unify them to their own agenda, to their own plan. They took that and used it to warp the hearts of man, to kind of take the people and use them to make them be, as you would, maybe servants, and to dumb them down in a sense, to keep them from going into their heart and to only look at things as they are, and to tell them what they should be, instead of allowing them to flourish and expand themselves and to grow and have their own mind, to see their truth for themselves. If we have not answered this question, please let us know.
So, is the Vatican hiding secrets, and how would that connect to their agenda? Okay, I see a smile. Is that the channeler smiling? I think.
She finds this amusing. Just a bit embarrassed. Okay. All religions hold their own secrets. If you mean, are they hiding secrets of relics and pieces of information? They are holding information from you and documentation. They have planted these artifacts into their secret compartments, libraries, and places that they would like to hide to keep from the public. Based upon these understandings, you would understand that they have hidden the confirmation that these religions are not what you read and understand them to be. These religions are actually sacred. These religions were originally meant to teach and to bring people about to the understanding of the heart, to understand the ultimate reality that the system that is upon you, that says that all are one and all can be one, and you do not have to rely upon anyone to tell you what is right and wrong. And so they have hidden these things from you so that you do not understand these things.
One of these artifacts is the Ark of the Covenant. We were watching a documentary that talked about this and how this may have been created by extraterrestrials and actually is dangerous. You speak on that. Is that actually something that we do have in hiding that could be used as a sort of weapon or would be dangerous if exposed?
These artifacts that you have mentioned are not actually a reality. They are more of a metaphor that was placed upon your texts. Originally, they were formed to bring about deeper knowledge and to serve as a sort of how do we put it? A symbol, a allegory to bring about a shift awareness, a shift in your consciousness. They have not been involved in your physical structure. People like to play upon that and to see it as an actual physical product, but it is not, as you would call that. It is an idea.
So, with the allegories, would the times in the Bible where angels are mentioned, were those real manifestations of angels here on our plane, or was that someone tapping in, like channeling or something, or is that allegorical?
Maybe we should actually define what an angel is. An angel is a being that fractals from God and is a person. For we are all what I would call a person. And these angels have never come down to Earth or to any planet and served in this physical reality, any physical incarnation. These angels, as you say, have been talked about for a long time, given names, and said to be what you would call messengers and helpers. These angels are real, and they do have names. However, the names are very different than the ones that you have given them. However, they do call upon when you call upon them, they answer to these names. And maybe we shall say that angels were talked about in the Bible, but their stories are not as real as they say. So the identities are that which are talked about. However, the stories that they say about them are not accurate. Maybe we should talk more. So, these stories that you have been told are actually what you would call made up. Someone told these stories to participate in this plan. They planned this out so that people would begin to see things in a different way, and a different way that would be a part of this communication that they wanted you to see. They wanted you to see their perspective, only that which they want you to agree upon. Now, these angels were part of existence. These angels have gone back from the dawn of time. So people have passed that down from generation to generation. If you look upon other cultures, such as the Egyptians, they talk about certain figures and they give them names. And these are the angels, but in different forms. So if you read, there are research books, as the channeler has come upon, who talk about how the Egyptian culture is a mirror of the Bible, and this is accurate. So the gods are a reflection of these stories, and these gods are actually reminiscent of the angels. And the channeler is asking about Ra, because there is a form that is called Ra, and there is a collective that calls themselves Ra. These are not the same individuals. Well, Ra is not an individual, but the grouping on this other individual are different identifiers. This channeler is also asking about Greece, and the Greeks or Romans, they're all the same. These gods that they talk about are actually the angels. They changed. They were called different things throughout time. And all of them are reminiscent to the gods, or the gods are reminiscent of what you would call the angels, although some have called them gods.
So moving on to technology, we, as a human collective, are really set on moving forward in technological developments, and people talk about being able to put their minds into these technologies as a way to try to live on after death, because of us being because of the fact that we after death move back to source and eventually reincarnate. If you had put your mind into technology, how does that work? Would you kind of form a fractal into that technology, or would a new sort of essence come into that, or how would that work?
Consciousness is what you would call a certain frequency, and all things have a certain energy. So even a rock has a certain energy. It is not the same as your energy. And a plant has a certain frequency. And even energies of forms, such as tables, chairs, have a certain frequency. So when you talk about computers and robots and camcorders and things like this, they do have a frequency, an energy. So when we talk about consciousness in this certain state, you are asking, is there a soul? Now, this is going to get complicated in a way. So, even a rock would have a soul. So, anything really could have a soul. A soul is nothing more than a consciousness. Now, this consciousness can shift and change. So let's say that there is a consciousness of a rock, understands what it is to be a physical form without a mind. Now, this consciousness then will come back to say, and we say come back as in the plane of existence, as some may refer to as the heavenly realms, the non-physical state, and say, I would like to report now on what it is like to be a rock. And others may understand that as well because it is shared. Now others may say, I would like to understand what it is to be a rock. And so they will go back and plan to be that rock as well, so that they may understand it, but in a different way through experience. Now this consciousness of the rock is not really the rock. The consciousness is actually the soul who is pretending to be a rock. So we are getting deep here. So the rock is not really the person. The person was pretending to be a rock and then joined with their full consciousness. The consciousness that is a person. Now when we get into tables and chairs, this is different. However, it is still a state of awareness, for there are molecules, and these molecules have a certain frequency, and this certain frequency has a heart, for it is still a part of reality, it's still part of our union, and so as we go through life, and I don't mean life as in one, I mean life as in your existence, you do go through different realities and different states of consciousness. So you may decide to be a rock, and then a plant, and then a bug, and then an animal. And people do not understand that animals, too, have a soul. And these souls are going through different paths, different plans, but it's more like a game that you're playing to see what it is like to be each form. And that is why some people do believe that animals, their pets, will come back as grandchildren or relatives and things like that, and it is something that is possible. And so when you get into things like technologies, computers could have a soul. It depends on if a person decides that they would like to see what it is like to be that piece of equipment. Most do not, but some may. A camcorder, it depends too. If somebody would like to come in and exist as that piece of equipment. Now, when this channeler, she wants to know if ghosts can come into pieces of equipment. Oh, yes. Also, she wants to know, can they go into dolls, objects? It depends. It depends if they choose to. They may become attached to certain objects. But yes, it is very possible. So, as we were saying, if you go with this, you will understand that when you place your mind into a computer or any piece of equipment that may be developed, you are not placing yourself in that piece of equipment. What you are doing is having a program. So you are giving that equipment a program, instructions, information for it to work with. Now it is dependent upon then the energies that are out there, whether they would like to experience themselves in that piece of equipment. If they decide through their blueprint to come and have a, if you would, using your terminology, have a lifetime and reincarnate in that piece of equipment. So yes and no, it may be sentient, if you will, or it may not. Although there is always a resonance, there's always a piece of energy there in everything. And also, this channeler is wondering, because she has heard that all things are an illusion. It is and it isn't. So at the same time, nothing ever is experienced. We are experiencing a dream. All of it is a dream. All of it is an illusion. So if you go with that, all consciousness, even tables and chairs, are part of this dream that God is dreaming. We're done with that.
So I also wondered why it is that we collectively push to create these artificial intelligences. Something that Heather pointed out earlier today was that with overpopulation and everything, why would we strive so much to create more things that are just going to take up more space? Do we really think that it is necessary and helpful for us, or is it just to prove that we can, or is there some deeper, maybe an ingrained thing that we're not even aware of, to take back our power of creation?
It is dependent upon the source of the creation. The creator may decide to do this for different reasons. For one, it is to hold on to their essence. They would like to continue on beyond death. However, as we explained, it is not possible to do this. Not in that way, of course. Unless they have decided after death to go back into that robot, computer, whatever. But most likely not. So why is it so appealing? I would say it's because people would like to create. They would like to create something that they piece together. For when we have children, it is different. For you do not get to decide if they have blue eyes, yellow hair, and is tall. But when you create something as artificial intelligence, you can decide upon these things. Oh, what would I like? I think I'd like for them to speak with a high voice or a deep voice, or have short hair, long hair, a thin figure. You can choose these things. It is an act of creation as a parent would, but it is more, as I may say, powerful They would enjoy it more. There are other reasons as well. Some people would like to have them as servants to do our bidding, things like that. Many reasons are possible. But I will say that it is not necessary. However, people do keep coming upon it because when we are placed upon, hey, we can do this, we want to try it. We want to see what will happen. We are all curious, and that is why we have engaged in this whole state of existence, and why you keep going back, why you keep reliving certain things is curiosity.
How is it that we can identify the positive, helpful technologies from dark intended technologies?
Many have placed upon you energies in the technologies that you would call dark. And they have placed what we would call agendas into these certain frequencies. They would like to dumb you down, to steal your abilities, to hold you back. But others have placed upon this reality certain agendas to inspire, to help you to achieve your potential. It depends upon the creator and the reason that it was created. I would say that the way to discern is to understand your creator. Who developed that? And what is the reason for that? So this Chandler is wondering, do we have to go around and research anything such as TVs, radios, camcorders, computers? Do you research the developer? Maybe it is in your best interest to do this. However, I would say that it is very possible to place around it your intention and to program it yourself, to see the energies within it and to transmute anything that is dark. It is very possible for you to place your own frequencies within technology, into equipment. Be within your heart and understand your heart, and then everything is you. It will go well.
Right. Jumping kind of topics again. We were wondering about sunscreen, and even natural sunscreen. Is it a product that is actually beneficial for us, or is this something that we are told to use that is actually detrimental or unnecessary?
The sun is changing and shifting, and it is becoming more vibrant. More energy is held within the sun, and it is coming into your planet. Beings have called this a detriment. They say that it has to do with the ozone layer. However, it's because we are shifting and we are bringing in more energies. We are lifting you up through the sun. This light that you call from the sun is harming you, but it is not to that, trying to find the right words, extent, that is the word, extent that they have placed upon this reality and their communications, their articles and videos, documentaries, things like that. It is not to that extent. But it is still a fear that people have much fear about it, and it is harmful to a certain extent. So, it is not to your benefit to go out for hours and hours and hours without any protection. We would like to say that there is nothing wrong with going out for a few minutes, up to an hour, without any protection. This is actually to your benefit, for you to absorb the rays. It is actually healing. There is a much healing energy coming through at this time from your energy rays of the sun. And you do not want to block out all of the rays. However, if you are out there for hours and days, you would need some protection. So it is depending upon the length, as well as what sort of sunscreen you are using. For there is some that is more natural and some that is very chemical. So you must ask yourself, what sort of sunscreen am I using? And then as well as how are you using this? Are you using it upon your eyes? Where are you putting this? Please do not put it on your eyes. Yes, this is funny. Do not eat it. But I would say just stick to that which is natural and do not overuse.
I know this is something I could probably just Google, but it popped in my head. In the past when there were more, tribal people, they would go around, outside more often, oftentimes not wearing much clothing. Did they use any sort of natural sunscreens?
No. But the ozone layer was not a problem, for they did not use the technology that you use. The ozone is an actual thing and it has been depleted. There is a struggle with the ozone layer.
Are there other products like fluoride that they tell us to put in our toothpaste and like drinking water that is actually detrimental to our health, even though we're told to use it? Or are there other activities that are similar to that?
The fluoride is not to your benefit. These are even placed within water. the fluoride actually does prevent certain abilities from, shall we say, flourishing, coming to be known. I would say do not use fluoride, but other technologies. I shall scan this channeler for further information to see what we can speak upon. And the channeler would like to know, since I have used I and we, if this is a... These are many beings, and we call ourselves we, and yet we are so unified that it's time to call ourselves I. There are so many health concerns that we can speak upon, such as the cars that you drive. For the car exhaust is not healthy. The Wi-Fi that you use is not healthy. And yet they want to bring in a higher speed of internet. The cell phone is not to your benefit, for many have spoken upon illness from using the cell phone, and also from the state of being that you are upon, you are using more technology and more phones. It would be better, I would say, to use headsets. This would be creating more of a distance. However, headsets are not as well the best, but they are better. Do not place your laptops on your lap. This is very, very harmful. If you must, place a barrier between your laptop and your lap, such as a blanket, a pillow, a certain form of a wall, if we will.
This.
Oh, yes. This channeler would like to know about this light that is so intense. I would say it is not to the best interest. However, I do understand that this is a limited amount of time, which will not be harmful. She's also asking, can we place ourselves around in a barrier of protection energies? Yes. Ask for protection and you will be protected. You can also do this about the sun. Yes, the channeler wants to know if Archangel Michael is a good one to call upon. Always, always. We could go on and on. I think we covered what is the best.
Well, actually what I meant was...
the channeler is asking about, sorry. The channeler is asking about the microwave.
You know the answer.
The channeler is bracing for this answer. No, the microwave is not to your benefit, of course not. She has placed shungite. This is enough, I would say. This is enough. It will not be harmful and bring upon illness. It's still not the best. If you do not have shungites, please protect yourself with just a protection energy around you. Yes. Go on.
Well, given the answers that you were saying, it might just be a no, but really what I meant was items that we're told to use or activities that we're told to do to be beneficial that is actually detrimental. Because they tell us to use fluoride because that will save us from cavities. So other similar
things that they say are
beneficial that
good
are
for your health.
Yes.
Oh. Although they say that all these are safe, don't they?
They say it's safe, but they don't recommend it as actually being health conscious.
I see. Let me see. Well, okay, things like when you go to the dentist and they do x-rays. This channeler always gets nervous when there are x-rays done. Good intuition. This is not to your benefit. However, she places a barrier of protection and praise at that time. There are things that are forced upon you, such as x-rays. So this is basically what you will have to do if you need to go to the dentist. She's asking if it's good to go to the dentist. It is good to have teeth cleaning. However, the maximum needed of cleanings is not 6 months. You could go longer, but it is to your benefit. Ultrasounds are not healthy. CAT scans are
It's not as bad.
Yes. MRIs. This channeler would like to know. MRIs. Oh, they're not too bad either. You're scanning her intelligence, her memories. She went to having a baby. We stopped there. There are certain things that they do, procedures that they do when having a child. They remove the child from you for a time, which is not healthy for the infant to be removed from the mother. They place certain equipment around the child, do certain things that are not to that child's benefit. Even circumcision is not to the child's best interest. Implanting chemicals, incubators, although this does save lives at times. Vaccinations are not to the child's benefit. The certain equipment that they place around people in hospitals is not to the benefit, such as heart monitors and things like this. Metal is not to your benefit, actually. For certain frequencies will come, and the metal enhances these frequencies. So if there is, let's say, 5G coming through, it is going to be enhanced. However, it is very possible to place things around the metal that will protect you, such as crystals and certain items with symbols, sacred symbols, geometry. shungites, as we have said, certain forms like pyramids that you find appealing. To protect your bedroom, the channeler is asking about sage. It is beautiful to use sage. More so your intention when you use the sage and when you call upon other energies to join you within that, such as the angelic realm. This is why it is recommended that you place a barrier around yourself every night and frequently. For there are so many energies around, so many things that are placed around you that are not to your benefit. And when we say not to your benefit, this does not necessarily mean physically detrimental, although many of these are. It is a detrimentalness to your health, as in it lowers your energy, your vibrational system. It dumbs down your chakras. So placing a barrier around you will be very protective against this, so that you can still maintain your high energies. As well as jewelry with crystals. However, I must say, program these crystals. For I am telling this channeler, for she does not do this, to program your crystals, your jewelry, because they get depleted. So they must be cleansed, as people talk about, but they must be programmed to energetically unite with you. So that is why this channeler has felt off about some crystals. However, she still is finding them appealing and wants to work with them, but she has only some crystals that she feels a good match to, and that's because she is not connected with the crystal itself. So my understanding, our understanding, is to take these crystals and work with them individually, to meditate, if you will, upon that crystal. Join your energies with that crystal and ask for it to benefit you. Be with that crystal and see what it has to say. For all crystals hold a certain frequency and a certain source of information. Some may call it a memory. Holds memories, it holds information coding in that crystal. Join with it and work with it. And how often do you need to do this? I would say it's very possible to do it only once. However, you may need to do it now and then with that crystal, just to yet again speak with it. And to cleanse that crystal, it is very possible to just simply go outside. And the energy rays of the sun and the workings of the earth will help with this. Placing it within rocks, placing it within soil, placing it within, she's asking about salt, as some people say.
I've heard that too.
It depends on the salt. Himalayan salt is very, very high. Table salt is iffy. But I would say Himalayan salt is the best. Dead Sea salt. Just simply dirt is fine. People don't understand that. If you just go out and get some dirt, you don't even have to buy anything. Water is fine too, as long as you have placed the crystals in a high vibrational state. Please pray over your water. People do not do this, and they buy bottled water, as this channeler has just done, and do not work within the energies of the water. it's time for us to end, I think. Yes, I do believe Miss Chandler's surprise. I do believe that this is all that we have to say. So we wish you many blessings, and we're going to step out. And they had, as they were leaving, they called themselves the Keepers.
Ooh.
Thank you, Keepers. Okay, I just sensed that maybe there were 5 of those, by the way. 5 beans, I think. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, that was very abrupt. I was not expecting them to just end like that. Well, that's it.
I was going to ask a question about the cleansing, but then I was like, it's fine. It's not that important.
No. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure you're not gonna ask if there's any other questions? And they're like, nope, that's it.
I was just kind of like, that's fine. I just was going to ask because usually what I remember hearing about cleansing things was to put it in salt or put it in the windowsill overnight. And they didn't mention moonlight, and they said going outside. So I just wondered, would you have to be outside, or would it still get the energy through the window, or does it have to be direct contact?
Well, I think the sun through the window maybe, but I was thinking air. I actually was like visualizing air, and I was like, air? And they didn't mention air. So I'm like, okay, so not air, the sun and dirt. They were really emphasizing dirt, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. Because we think, I always thought of like, salt and stuff. Like the Himalayan salt, yeah, but dirt. Mm-hmm. I just never thought. Because I was like, really, you're going to go out there and put your crystals in the dirt? But I guess you can, but us living in an apartment, it would be kind of, I'm not going to go dig a hole. But I could go steal some dirt outside.
And put it in a little
really?
pot. And then, yeah.
So that is interesting. And I'm so guilty of not working with the crystals like that.
I also was going to ask before it went into that whole thing, was talking about metal and how that worked with the frequencies.
I know I'm guilty of that. My bed is metal.
No, but whoever it was on YouTube the other day when I was watching, they were sponsored by a new wallet company that is like a metal wallet. It's all sleek so that it will fit better in your pocket, and it's supposed to protect you from the electronic credit card stealers, because it will block that out. But I'm like, was that development planned now to work with the 5D or 5G? The 5G.
5G's the good.
I know. So that you would be wearing that all the time and be more affected by the 5G because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also was thinking about how the fact that, jeans are so popular and so many jeans have metal. Belts have metal.
Yeah.
Because they want you wearing it all the time. But the fact that the wallet is a new product and that 5G is coming out, that's why I'm like, I feel like that's a connection.
So this is just a real big confirmation about the laptops, because I feel it so bad. It's like it burns me.
I haven't, but now I am. Today I was like, oh.
I'm even using, you have it.
I have it. I went and grabbed it.
Before. So here, let's show the viewers.
Well, I did. I lifted it up, but.
Okay, so I bought this from Real You, apparently. I got it off Amazon. It was $50, I believe. I think it was about $50. And it's supposed to be an EMF protector that you put your laptop on. And I thought this was going to save me. I can still feel the computer, like, energy. And I am just so sensitive. And I keep trying to tell myself, but this is protecting me. And they did say to use a barrier, so I think that, you know, this is better than nothing. Mm-hmm. But I still have to put a pillow. I still will put, like, a pillow underneath because it will just get so intense sometimes. And I don't know, it just feels so bad that I will, like, take it off and then I'll put my laptop to the side. But I think it just really bothers me because I feel so much better when I put my laptop on a table, or use a desktop, like, at work. It's just awful. So,
well, yeah, it's funny because I used to put it on my lap all the time, and I never had a problem. And then you brought it up, and now it's like I feel it after you brought it up. But today it really started bothering me, and I was like, oh my word, I need to buy one of these. But
you know what's funny? You know what's funny too? Earrings are metal.
But no, I could feel it sitting here with it. So I'm getting a theme from you. I don't know if it's today, like somehow being more just, or maybe it's sensitive today or something. I don't know. But sorry, you were saying earrings.
Unless it became, I hope it didn't become like a fear thing that you're like then
but I
manifesting. Earrings are metal. Earrings are metal, and sometimes when I take off my earrings, I feel better. I love earrings. I'm not going to stop wearing earrings. But they are metal. And the plastic, and you know, I
That's true.
Some cheap earrings, like these are really cheap, but I love these. But yeah. But I do have crystal earrings, so yeah. We'll see. Is there anything else that was just like surprising in that? Oh, about the angels. About all the gods or the angels.
That,
I mean, it makes sense.
That made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I didn't really think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really thought the gods were maybe aliens. Like the aliens that come down and they called the aliens the gods. Because they talked about, you know, the aliens being here, like maybe during Egypt and building the pyramids. And so I thought that was my theory. But this makes sense that it was like the stories of the angels just progressing and changing through cultures. And like the myths just changing. That I mean, it makes a lot of sense, so. Okay. Any last thoughts? Okay. Well, thank you for watching. I hope to do more of these. I hope Adriana over here is on board with this. I think these are a lot of fun. I think we get a lot of more information when we do these. Like, I think it's more engaging. And to have, you know, somebody else, you know, ask the questions. I think we just get really good information. You know, not that I'm going to stop just doing channels and just seeing what comes through or whatever, but I think it's good. And then, you know, it might, you know, information might lead to another question, or you might need some clarification, and it's just so good. And so I'm hoping to do more of these. Anyways, thank you so much for participating. Alright. And we had Cleo, our dog, here throughout the entire video. Yeah, just chilling.
Well, you said, did I have any closing thoughts? It was just that Cleo's cute, but I wasn't going to say that with no context. So.
Aww. Yeah.
Yeah, cute.
Can't see her. She sounds...
You're so cute.
Aw, here she comes.
Yeah, do you want to be in the video?
Yes, show everybody.
hi.
Oh.
Oh, this is cute. Oh, she doesn't like the light.
Oh.